Andy, I love when I'm right. I love when I have a gut feeling that I have felt for so long and that I hold on to it and I stick to my guns. Andy, he did it. Seth Rollins cashed in and is the new World Heavyweight Champion. Welcome to our SummerSlam post show. Andy, I'm just so excited. I can't even talk. Thanks for being here, man. I'm sorry that you had such a weird night.
Listen, at the end of the day, Punk still won the world title, so Seth technically didn't fall into what he said he was going to do.
That is true. That is true. That's wrong on my part. Yep, you're right.
There's still a picture floating around of Seth Rollins or CM Punk holding that world title. So that's what I live for.
That is 100% true. The chat is popping. We appreciate you guys being live. Brady Thompson in the chat with the laughing. Oh no, that's the sad face. I can't see. Is that the sad face, Andy? The camera.
I can't really tell.
I think it is. Vacation Aaron blowing up the chat already. He is here and ready to react to this wonderful night. What is Seth Rollins joining us on this show? He's right here, though. He's right here. Wait a minute. A run-in by Vacation Aaron. He's here. He's cashing in his opportunity to be on Squared Circle Radio. Are you kidding me? What is this?
Oh no,
buddy! Welcome to the show.
It feels good,
doesn't it?
Your Vacation World Heavyweight Champion, Aaron is here live and in living color. Welcome to Squared Circle Radio. I am now your host. Just kidding. I'll let you handle all the responsibilities.
My goodness. Yeah, you better let me handle that. Welcome to the show. If you are a first-time viewer, first-time guest, we appreciate you being here. Subscribe to the channel if you thought that was a fun little run-in. We have these sorts of fun gimmicks all the time. Just make sure you're tuned in. We are live every Monday after Raw, and of course, after big moments like this. Andy, Seth Rollins, the new champion. Brady commenting again, very disappointed, sad, mad. Why did they do this to Punk? Andy, I'll let you address that. Why did they do this to CM Punk?
Yeah, I mean, especially after watching, WWE Unreal, where he was supposed to win he was supposed to win the Rumble, and then somebody came up with the idea for Jey Uso. Then he was supposed to win the Triple Threat, and then somebody came up with the idea for Seth to win. So it feels like we're right on the edge of Punk getting these big moment wins and big moments and things, and then just being ripped away from us. As a diehard Punk fan, yes, I was very disappointed, and yes, I was sad as this was happening. But at the same time, it was amazing to see it happen. Like, it was great storytelling. It was perfect all the way through, kind of everything that they handled it. So bittersweet moment for sure for me.
Not to be dramatic here, but CM Punk had to die to save night one of SummerSlam because that show was atrocious.
It was not good. It was rough. It was.
SummerSlam needs to go back to one night.
Thank you. I said this. I said this coming in tonight. I said, do we have enough storylines, good storylines, to warrant 2 nights of SummerSlam? Now, again, we can all agree that 2 nights of SummerSlam means WWE gets more pay-per-view money, and yes, it makes all the financial sense in the world, but does it make creative sense in the world? Good creative sense. And I disagree. Like, I don't think that there was really enough juice tonight. Tomorrow night's gonna be a blast. Yep. I mean, someo's probably gonna die in this TLC ladder tag team match hell. Yeah, I mean, just tonight was I found myself what was it that I said too? I said, when I look at these cards, I'm like, okay, where's the bathroom break? I could have had a 3-match bathroom break and been fine.
Okay, so before we keep diving in here, I want you to look at the card. And Andy, obviously, it seems like you feel the same way as well. So weigh in on this as well. So tomorrow night is 6 matches, and I think we can all agree that those 6 matches are pretty legit, 6 solid, incredible matches, all for championships. If you were to take, let's just call it 2 matches from tonight's show and put it on the other card, I mean, obviously it's probably the Roman and Jey match. the tag match.
So the question is, what match for tonight can I move?
Match or matches would you move and just make it a whole SummerSlam card?
Okay, so if I'm going to base it off of not watching the match and I'm just purely going off of,
No, you watched it. You can base
so
it on that.
we're going to go with what I watched, and if it makes okay.
What you watched.
So I would say yes, Roman and Jay could go tonight too. And then CM Punk and Gunther, as much as I didn't enjoy like 90% of the match, I could say that the ending warranted a night 2 spot.
Okay. Andy, would those be the two obviously that you would move?
Yeah. I would move those two probably as well. Maybe the Jelly Roll tag too, just because of the sports entertainment factor of it.
That's the one I thought.
And you need that kind of moment for SummerSlam. And if the result had been different, then I'd have been fine with Sammy and Karrion Kross, but we'll talk about that as well.
Sure. Yep.
But yeah, I would say those two are definitely the ones that would be moved.
All right, let's dive into the main event. Seth Rollins, Dr. Dennis Durst in the chat, banned the briefcase. I don't know. Seth Rollins has had 2 monumental cash-ins and won the championship.
What would you replace it with? What if we're gonna ban the briefcase?
Well, the word on the street is that Triple H hates the briefcase.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and that's why a lot of people argue that it's booked so terribly is because he hates the briefcase.
Okay. So he's trying to kill it itself by just looking at.
I don't know. The last 2 men's Money in the Bank briefcase have been booked tremendously.
Yeah. I was about to say, it's recency bias, I guess, but I've enjoyed it the past.
Last year being Drew being angry and trying his best to go get that championship and it not happening. And then this year, Andy, all of us supposedly either getting fooled or Seth Rollins got healthy or it wasn't as bad as they let on or whatever. I'm telling you, you know it, Andy. You were right here on the podcast. The night CM Punk won the gauntlet match to become number 1 contender, I said it's only for Seth Rollins to cash in at SummerSlam and win the championship, Andy, and it happened in an incredible moment.
Yeah, and I would even go back to Damian Priest cashing in.
Having that one before that, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so you had Priest cash in, you had Drew failing, and then you had Seth tonight. I think those last 3 have been done really, really well. Yeah, I love the briefcase. I think the Money in the Bank briefcase is probably outside of the Rumble one of the best creative decisions WWE ever came up with.
I agree.
When it's done right, like when it's done proper, and how I view Money in the Bank is always a young talent getting the opportunity that we wouldn't see coming, like a Tiffany Stratton, like Damian Priest, even when he cashed in. So guys like Seth cashing in, or unless it's done like it was tonight, then I'm kind of not the biggest fan of it. But I thought what they did tonight with it was great. And if somebody like Seth has it or somebody like Drew has it, it's going to be a memorable moment.
Yes.
And Triple H is going to use it for that. But as we've also seen, they don't hold it very long. The last couple of years, they only hold it for a couple months because I don't think he knows what to do with it long term. I think it's just a quick decision.
Wants to do anything with it long term.
Yeah.
Priest held it for forever. He held it for Money in the Bank all the way to WrestleMania. That's clearly the longest. I am of the impression that I view the Money in the Bank briefcase just like I do mid-card titles when it comes to big main event guys holding it. I loved 2018 when Seth Rollins had his run with the Intercontinental Championship. I loved in 2017 when Roman Reigns had the Intercontinental Championship, and both of those guys had already been world champions. They were in a main event run. AJ Styles been the Intercontinental Champion. AJ Styles and Kevin Owens doing the U.S. Championship stuff. I love when big guys hold mid-card titles and Money in the Bank briefcases. I'm not saying it's the best because, Andy, clearly Money in the Bank was made for somebody to get a big moment and to, a Big E or an Edge at the very first one or Seth Rollins the first time. Clearly the Money in the Bank briefcase does its job. But when you get main event guys having it, like you said, Andy, the moment is memorable. It makes it feel huge and special. And so I love that ebb and flow of it.
Is that a situation, though, more so that maybe we don't have enough what's the word? We don't have enough main event guys. Like you're kind of working with what you've got, and it's not necessarily the briefcase's fault. Does that make sense?
Andy, I view it more as not that we not have enough main event guys. I think it's a very much tiered main event system.
Sure.
Because you have your main event guys.
Yeah.
Then you have your Romans and Codys and Seths and Punks who are just on a different level than everybody else. So Priest established himself as a main event guy by becoming champion.
You're saying main event guys, and then there's guys that supersede
Elite.
WWE in itself.
Yeah.
To where a general person on the street knows who they are.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think
I can understand that.
I mean, like, to me, a guy like Cena or a guy like Orton never needs to hold Money in the Bank.
That makes all.
And they held it twice. And obviously, though, the one time Randy Orton did hold it, we got the big moment at SummerSlam when Triple H turned on Daniel Bryan and we had the authority be formed. So, like, the moment itself, you look back and go, okay, I see why they did it now. That makes more sense. With Cena, nothing really came from it. Because I think you're looking at that moment, Seth Rollins in 2015, like finally being crowned world champion, and that big moment. Dolph Ziggler the night after WrestleMania when he got probably the biggest pop of his entire career. Edge when he cashed in, CM Punk when he cashed in. So you're looking at guys who, to me, the Money in the Bank is those guys that are right on the edge of being a main eventer. This gives them that chance to prove, hey, I'm a main eventer, or I'm not cut out to make it.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I completely agree. But what a moment. Seth Rollins, dare I say, saving SummerSlam night number 1 with his Money in the Bank cash in. Andy, let's backtrack. Let's talk about the moments before the cash in, the actual match, Gunther and CM Punk. Gunther getting busted open by the table, I thought was really weird. Aaron and I both agree that up until the last few minutes of the match, something was off. Yeah. Andy, I was texting you in the match and you really enjoyed it. So not saying, okay, hang on one second before we get into that, because this is a Seth Rollins comment from Dr. Darks. Constantly lying about injuries is anti-competitive. Andy, we kind of go back and forth about that. What I will say is we can't confirm nor deny that Seth was never hurt at all. We can't. What we can go by is him saying, I got hurt. I'm going to be out for an extended amount of time. That's honestly all we can go by. So I'm not saying he was hurt. I'm not saying he wasn't hurt. They never told us. Again, you can read all the dirt sheets that you want. But again, for me and my money, you have to go by the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
And they never told us that how long he's out for. And obviously, Andy, they did that on purpose because it's part of the story. So again, we broke it down on Monday on the show where we talked about all of the things that was like, it's not like a regular injury.
Yeah.
It just, all the things that was adding up was not like a regular injury.
For all we know, the reason they didn't talk about it was because they were still probably trying to get information to see, okay, maybe he can go out and still do this. Maybe the injury, while it may exist, maybe it's not severe enough to where he still can't go out and do the spot.
Andy, like I said on the podcast too, he could hold this title hostage for a month before he wrestles again. There's a difference in getting cleared to be physical and cleared to wrestle. And we could be in that stage. We don't know.
Right. I will say this. If they don't know his status and they just did this anyway, then I hate this. Even like this makes me hate this idea or this decision to do it now. Because if they're just going to hold the title hostage and him not defend it for 2 to 3 months because they're still trying to figure out the knee injury, I would have rather them hold this moment for, a massive show in a couple months or whatever the case is.
Sure.
But if I tend to believe he may have gotten hurt again, like Aaron said, and they didn't know the severity of it. And now they're starting to see, okay, he can go, everything's fine.
Yep.
I would have a hard time believing that they did that match with LA Knight to do that work spot and then have a rush finish. Like, I have a hard time
I agree. Yes.
believing that was
That's-
the idea from the beginning.
Agree. Completely agree. Yep, for sure.
Yeah.
I will say this though. I'm on your side, Andy, saying like, yes, it would upset me if he's holding the title hostage, but it makes me upset in the sense that I'm going to root for the challenger even more.
Right.
Like, it's going to make the villain arc even better because you're like, oh, come on, can someone just beat his ass so they can take the title from him?
Which is the way it was, Andy, with Brock Lesnar.
I disagree with that. I don't think it was that way with Brock Lesnar.
Like,
I think with Brock it was never on TV. He was never there.
Right.
He's just holding the championship because of who he is. Versus this, I would agree with this of if he's on TV weekly holding that championship and he is on TV acting like a heel, and whenever CM Punk or whoever gets in his face and tries to attack him, then you have Bronson and Braun get in there and beat him up, and Seth always runs away. Then I can get on board with what Aaron is saying. But I hate the idea of putting the belt on a guy who is then going to be gone for months on end and never see him or the title.
Here's how I'll wrap up this injury discussion, because I do want to move on to the rest of the card, because it was, it is the biggest party of the summer. We do have 5 other matches that we need to dive into a little bit here. And I want to give Andy a chance to talk about this Gunther and CM Punk match before all this happened. I will wrap up this injury conversation by the exact same way that Triple H in the press conference addressed, I don't even remember exactly what it was, but the quote sticks out to Andy. You could probably fill me in the context here, but the quote sticks out in my head when Triple H says, "Did you enjoy the show? You enjoyed the show, didn't you?" We enjoyed the show. We enjoyed the Seth Rollins moment. The moment of him standing there on the crutches, taking the brace off, tossing the crutches, and running to the ring. Everybody in my house was losing their ever-loving mind. And Andy, I know you, like you said, you were sad for Punk, but the moment was incredible because you're a Seth fan too. So it made the night. But let's talk about the Gunther CM Punk match. You enjoyed it, Andy. Aaron and I did not, at least until the last 5 minutes. What, from your perspective, what did you enjoy about it?
Man, it just felt like such an old school main event. And it felt like such an old school match of the big bad heel beating down the challenger, absolutely annihilating Punk the whole time. And then we get the last, comeback throughout, and we get those moments. It felt like, and again, I think it's just the style of wrestling that Gunther has and that Punk has. This was my favorite Gunther match as champion that I can remember for a long time. I prefer this one to the J match at WrestleMania. Obviously, this was 1,000 times better than him and Goldberg a couple weeks ago. So I really enjoyed every aspect of it. I thought they did a great job of making Punk look like the underdog for that fiery comeback at the end when he made Gunther see his own blood, which I don't think Gunther's ever really bled in WWE. So for him to see that blood and to, see it smeared all over his face and then to have that freak out moment, I think for me in character that works for Gunther, and then Punk is obviously going to capitalize on it.
Yeah. City Kitty Loyal in the chat, match was pretty boring until the last few minutes. Cash in was brilliant. At least Seth can't cash in on Cody when he wins the title back. That's fair. I'm here for that. Aaron, the blood really helped the match. Like Andy just said, it really turned things around.
Yes. I love the point that you made, Andy, about, Gunther's always been made out as this, guy that's intimidating and you can't be brought down and everything like that. And then once he sees all the blood, he's like, oh man, I am impenetrable. Like, or, I can be brought down. I can bleed. Which was a cool, storyline moment, built character arc, whatnot. But all that to say, Andy, I love you. I respect you, but you loving Gunther, we need to get you checked. Okay, because Gunther is boring. Gunther is not fun. nothing exciting about Gunther. Gunther sucks. Okay, I can't stand Gunther.
Oh wow.
I don't care if this is hot take, if we're getting hot pod right now, but I'm sorry, the man has two moves. It's I'm gonna chop you, and then I'm gonna jump off the top turnbuckle and look like I've never done it before.
The bullfrog splash.
The bullfrog splash. I can't do it. Like, is he a great villain, and do I like his mic work and everything like that? Like, sure, but I'm sorry, he's boring to watch when it comes to wrestling.
Andy, before you, and Dr. Durst agrees with you in the chat, Aaron, if I can move the mouse and get it up here, Gunther
I'm
sucks.
building an army.
Andy, all I will say is it's a good thing Aaron didn't watch wrestling in the 90s, because it was this, Andy, to me, while I didn't enjoy it, I compare this to like Diesel versus Bret Hart. Like, this is exactly what that would have looked like in the early 90s.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I'm not even going to dignify that response with an answer. That's sad that he doesn't know what good wrestling looks like, but you know, we'll work on it. We'll work on it.
4 or 5 years old, not to age y'all.
For those of you, Andy is, well, I mean, y'all are close.
We're close.
What year were you born, Aaron?
94.
Well, Andy was born 96. Yeah, Andy's born 96.
You're watching the old archive stuff.
At least you were alive when the NWO formed. We talked a couple weeks ago when Hogan passed away that he wasn't even born when the NWO was formed. Yeah. You were too. You weren't watching. It's fine.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's beside the point. For those of you who follow me on social media at Chris Belcher 24, I told you all this was going to be a wild post show. And when I invite this guy into my house, like all bets are off, I guess, right?
Absolutely. I'm surprised you even let me in your house at this point.
Well, listen,
if I pull up in the driveway, the police should be called.
You just made a run in and cashed in this little briefcase for your opportunity to be on the show.
And then spit in my face talking about Gunther. I
came prepared.
That's true. Welcome to Squared Circle Radio. This is your first time being here. We appreciate it so much. That is Vacation Aaron joining us in the flesh. My name's Chris Belcher. That is the Young Buck Andy York. SummerSlam Night number 1 had a lot to be desired. Honestly, we hope that night number 2 delivers on a much bigger level. I think it will. 6 championship matches. We'll talk a little bit about that at the end. But my guy right here, Seth Rollins, cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase, the new world heavyweight champion. Andy, let's talk about, we mentioned the start of the show was really the only real big spot of the night. Roman Reigns and Jey Uso getting a victory over Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, with Jey Uso pinning Bronson Reed. Very interesting, a cool finish, I thought, Andy, but and a long match. I don't know, man. What did you think of the way it kicked off the show?
Yeah, I thought it was good, but not as good as I thought it was going to be. And I think that's kind of the theme of the night, is that it was fine. Like, most of the matches tonight were fine. You're not going to remember them by the end of tomorrow night, probably, what happened. Except for Roman making that dive to the outside and nearly snapping his neck. That got a massive reaction out of me seeing that. But other than that, like, it was a good match. Obviously, it shows that the company still has big plans for Jey. If Jey is the one to get the pin in this match, pinning Bronson, obviously they have big things for Braun as well, because he was nowhere to be found for the finish. There is a video kind of floating around of him having to be helped backstage a little. Don't know if that was.
We talked about that at the end. He had a huge bandage on his leg, and he wasn't wrestling in that. So
yeah. I don't know if it was an injury or just a gash or something. I don't know, but it was fine. Like, I think it was just a fine match to get Roman back, so he can go away again and come back at War Games or whenever it is.
I thought the Bronson Reed dive. You're talking about Roman's dive. Bronson Reed's dive was wild.
And he that big fella went through the center rope. Like, I'm surprised. Like, I think that we can talk about how athletic he was. Can we talk about the fact that he got through the center rope cleanly? Like, that was insane.
Yeah.
That was great. Again, Roman's dive over the top rope, awesome, even though he nearly snapped his neck. but another thing, because Michael Cole pointed it out, or is Wade Barrett, the fact that Roman pushed Jay out of the way, was it the spear?
Yeah, at the end by Breaker.
And they made a point of saying, like, that's the first time that Roman's ever sacrificed himself for a family member. And, you know, is this a new Roman that we're getting ready to see? And it's like, you know, yes, I agree with Andy. Like, yeah, are we going to see Roman like consistently on TV for this to actually play out to where I think it's going to be a storyline? No, but there is a reason they mentioned that. There's a reason that move was put in there. So I think that's something to watch out for the next couple of appearances.
Yep.
But yeah, that was the big thing I took away from that match. Again, I agree. It was a so-so match. Which is tough to say because it was probably ranks number 2 for my night too.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I mean, that's my takeaways.
Dr. Durst still in the chat. Thank you for being with us. Thank you all for being with us, whether you're listening on podcast, on the replay, watching the replay on YouTube, or of course being with us live. We appreciate you so much. Imagine the pain of a Bronson frog splash. I mean, good grief, Andy. We didn't see a tsunami in this match, and I'm kind of shocked by that. I feel like that was a theme of the night, Andy, as you look through the other matches too. Not a lot of false finishes, which is fine in a sense, but I felt like it was like when one finish was hit, a match was over. You know, like you said, it sort of spoke to the night.
Yeah, I think there was just a lot. I mean, listen, when's the last time a WWE pay-per-view or PLE or whatever they're going to call them now? When's the last time it ended by 8:30 Central Time?
Right.
Like, I feel like there was a lot of time left on the table.
I will say this. I will say this, and this is from in-person experience. The last time WWE held a PLE at MetLife Stadium was WrestleMania 35, and it was 7.5 hours long. The main event didn't go on until after midnight. Now, I told you guys this about MetLife Stadium before the show started. When I was there, they literally have concrete barricades around the parking lot and will not let you walk out. That was in 2019. I don't know if that's changed, but they have concrete barriers and they won't let you walk out. So your choices to get out of MetLife Stadium are an Uber or the Metro train that literally drops you off at MetLife Stadium. Anybody want to guess what time the last Metro train is that goes by MetLife Stadium?
It's got to be like 10, 11 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
Yeah.
So
why would they have a train run out there past? Yeah.
So the problem with WrestleMania 35 was apparently WWE did not let the council know that they needed to run more trains that late. And the event went past midnight, and you can imagine how many people were stranded. So that could play into it, Andy. I think that at least plays into the early start time. Maybe not the early get out time, but at least the early start time. But to your point, there you go.
Yeah, it just felt like there was a lot of time left on the table for some of these matches. Or just a spot for something to break the monotony of match commercial, like something in the middle to do something different. Yep. It was it felt off from the beginning. The whole night did.
Yep. We didn't even get a Cardi B halftime show. Like what was Cardi B even doing there?
Or Drewski. Drewski didn't you could have had Drewski in the middle of the ring doing something.
Yeah, he could have done a stand up. We could have gotten like a little skit or something in the center that a Cardi B,
Listen,
two songs.
Drewski and New Day was right there on the table, and we didn't do anything with it, or with R-Truth or something like that.
Yeah,
that's true. My big takeaway from the things that I just thought could have added to the.
By the way, his name is Ron Killings.
Gosh,
is it? Because they keep changing it. 1 week is Ron Killings, 1 week is R-Truth. And then he doesn't show up on TV, and no fans make any more noise.
I love that we fought for him to just not be back anymore.
My biggest takeaway from the night, honestly, is like I don't feel like, aside from Punk and Seth, I don't feel like stories were advanced after tonight. Like they made the point about Roman sacrificing himself. Yeah, they made the point about, well, maybe Charlotte and Alexa are friends after winning the tag titles. And Sammy told Cross, like, we're done. And other than that, like Andy, I just don't feel like things advanced with some of these finishes. I don't know. It seemed like a hard reset for like everybody.
Honestly, outside of the main event, all these matches could have happened on SmackDown or Raw, and I don't think we'd have blinked an eye. And I think that's part of the problem with the 2-night SummerSlam is one night is going to suffer more than the other. Honestly, I think you can kind of make the argument for that with WrestleMania too. Of, we always talk about one night's always better than the other, and the last couple of years, night one has been notoriously been better than night two. SummerSlam, hopefully it's been a different story because again, this could have all happened last night on SmackDown, except probably for the main event. And I would have been like, yeah, I can absolutely believe it.
I said those exact same words. I said if all these matches could have been on SmackDown or Raw.
Yep.
Yeah, nothing advanced for me.
Well, and especially the way they all played out.
Yeah, WWE just really needs to go back to quality over quantity with these 2-night PLEs.
Well, and I get
they do that with like every like bi-monthly pay-per-views. Like the other pay-per-views we get throughout the year, there's only like 5 matches on the card, and all 5 matches are important matches each time. So, like people are invested. But then you get to WrestleMania or SummerSlam, and it's like, why do we need some of these matches on the card when we could have anything else, or give them more time to do things and just spread it out a little bit more.
And at that point too, you're kind of killing the TV shows, the regular weekly shows, because you're just like, well, the matches that would otherwise be really good for SmackDown or Raw, we're just gonna move them to a night one PLE, and at the end of the day, they become throwaways.
Well, and to contradict that just a little bit, because I completely agree with what you guys are saying, but when you look, Andy, you just historically said that night one of WrestleMania is always better than night two. Seemingly, that's the way that it works out. And I think a lot of that is because the crowd is fresh. The crowd is hot. They are ready to go for the big event. And tonight, not so much. So maybe tomorrow night they come back, they're amped, and we're like, okay, we could have done without night one. Night two was great. Fine. Okay. It's the point of, we just put 50,000 people in seats in this stadium. Andy, when was the last time Karrion Kross, outside of Saudi Arabia, wrestled on a big show? Like, does Sami Zayn often get a spot on a big show? Like, what about, all of these others you can make an argument for, but the women's tag team championship, we saw it change hands. We've got 2 former world champions holding the titles. So I'm not saying that I don't agree with you guys. I'm just saying that SummerSlam being the historic event that it is, people being able to be featured on that card and having 2 nights of that action, it might not mean as much to us, but it means something to them and being able to get on this show. So yes, I'm playing the politically correct card, but I'm just trying to see it from both sides.
Yeah, I think you're killing the importance of what it means to get a match on a pay-per-view.
I agree with
that. I think we all but it's one of those things where it's like, the wrestlers all probably love it because they're like, yes, there's an opportunity for me to be on a SummerSlam when you make it 2 nights. But it's like, then I can,
look, Andy,
on because it's the fact that it's 2 nights.
WrestleMania had 8 matches or 7-8 matches per night. This is 6, only 1 more than what we normally get on a PLE. So it's not like it's just let's cram everybody on the card. Daggum, for heaven's sakes, LA Knight's not on either of these nights. Pun intended. And he's not on any of these shows. So,
and apparently he went on social media letting everyone know how upset he is about that, by the way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like there are people, Andy, that are still left off of these shows that probably deserve a spot on the show. Finn Balor's not on the show. Like there are guys that should be on that are not.
Yeah, and I get that, but I don't know. I would just rather, I don't care, and this is going to sound horrible. It's a business. I don't care if we get more people on the show or not. I want what's entertaining, and I want what's best for each show.
Yep.
with the case of Karrion Kross, was it great to see him out there and to have that moment? Absolutely, it was. I've been a big Karrion Kross fan from the beginning, and watching him go on this journey, I think it's been really interesting. But I would almost rather have that match on, especially with how it ended, I would almost rather have that match on SmackDown because it fits that it fit that criteria a lot better than SummerSlam. Because I feel like that appearance did absolutely nothing for Kross. I think it was just a very forgettable moment that you could have had somewhere else. Whereas you could have had an LA Knight. I don't think Penta's on the card either. Like, I think that's another person that you could fit on here. So it's give or take. And obviously there are like surprise matches every year where it's like, I don't think this should be on the card. And then all of a sudden you're like, that was a really fun, really good match. That was nowhere on tonight's card though.
Dr. Durst in the chat, Triple H must have just said this in the press conference. He said he's not happy about bogus medical reports. Well, he's working us. He's working. I mean,
Papa H strikes again.
Papa H strikes again. That's exactly right. He's working us. Like, again, WWE just released this Unreal docuseries this week, which we covered in our archives. If you haven't checked it out, please go do that, whether you're listening on podcast or on YouTube. It's a great 30 minutes that Andy and I just take a peek inside of the Unreal series. But with that Unreal series, we're getting a peek behind the curtain as to what's really happening. It's still sports entertainment. They're still trying to entertain us. They're still trying to keep us guessing. So there's going to be more of these blurred lines now where we're just not going to be sure what to believe. And that's probably done intentionally so that we don't bank on what the dirt sheets are saying. Just watch it for what it is and come to your own conclusions and just be entertained. Like, I think that's the bottom line. And the takeaway is that everybody's just so analytical about WWE and about wrestling. It's like, just have fun with it. It's supposed to be fun. Speaking of fun, Andy, we have talked a lot about what we did not like about night one of SummerSlam. What did you like about night one of SummerSlam? Give us some good stuff. What did you enjoy?
The Jelly Roll tag match was entertaining, and I thought it was what it needed to be. Was it a 5-star classic? No. Was it as good as, Bad Bunny's first match in WWE and everything like that? No. But I will say this. I give Jelly Roll all the credit in the world for taking that frog splash through the table. I give him all the credit in the world and took it like a champ. I mean, he took it like a man, got in the ring, ate a Claymore, ate the pin. He was willing to lose as a celebrity. I feel like that is very rare to not only see them lose, but also eat the pin. So listen, credit to him, credit to all the hard work. You can tell how much this meant to him. The dude has lost a ton of weight. He looked fantastic in the ring. He looked maybe not that he didn't belong, but he looked like he'd worked hard enough to be there. And he wasn't just a celebrity getting a moment. He had worked hard for that moment. And I feel like the match kind of proved that too.
He truly wanted to be there.
Yeah. I said coming into tonight that I was like, come on, I'm over the celebrity, tie-ins, and mainly that's because I still have a bad taste in my mouth with Travis Scott. Please, if Travis Scott never shows,
I think that's why I kept Cardi B away from the show.
Right. So
no rappers.
Right. But I mean, yeah, again, like he took all of his spots. And I mean, again, someone needs to bust out a ruler and see how high Logan Paul got on that, because that was, I mean, if you go back and look at the replay, I think he's even shocked at how, either how well it went or how high he just jumped, because his eyes were just wide open. He's like, am I dead? Looking up. Is head lands? Like, what, so, yes, I think Jelly Roll absolutely deserves all the respect in the world for actually, putting in the work. You told me he did in fact move to Orlando to be at the Performance Center and everything like that. Like, that's huge. So I think, yes, the fact that he also took his L, that also makes me think too that he's probably going to be wrestling a lot more. It's not going to be a one match deal. Again, you also don't move. You don't move to Orlando for one match. Right. So I think there's a plan for him. And if there is a plan for him, I feel way better about it seeing the work that he did tonight. But
I also think he has tremendous respect for Randy Orton and didn't want Orton to take the pin. Like, if they were going to lose, he probably is the kind of guy that said, "Oh, pin me." Yeah. Like, I'll do it. Pin me.
I will say Well, real
Go
quick,
ahead.
one thing that we do need though is we need to get this man better ring gear. Like, give me Jelly Roll in a singlet right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say what he wore tonight was Jelly Roll. Like that was just him on point.
Right.
That's just who he is every day.
He just showed up. Well, we need him. We need him in the same ring attire that Michael Cole wears.
Yes,
like he's got the
orange.
earmuffs and everything.
They give him the El Grande Americano gimmick. Let him come out.
That could be.
Let him come out.
There we go.
It's gonna like it. Dr. Durst in the chat. Amazing frog splash. City Kitty and Dr. Durst agreeing. Keep Travis Scott out. Yes, we're all in agreement on that.
Real quick, we also didn't talk about, like, we're talking about the frog splash. Is that the most destroyed the announcer table has looked so far, like the new ones? I mean, it was in splinters it was done. Also, shout out to the prop crew coming in with a new one at one point. I mean, we had an announcer table change.
We did.
Oh yeah.
Aaron, what did you like about night one? What stood out to you?
I mean,
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
well, that's the problem is I'm fishing out of a pond full of crap.
Murky water.
Murky water, you could say that. Yes, Jelly Roll did well. I was telling you I'm not a big Karrion Kross guy. So that match was whatever. I hate these silly stipulations. You were telling me the stipulation was like if so and so wins, they have to, what was it? Say something.
Say that they
had to say Kross was right.
Right. Like it's so stupid. Like I don't like those things.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, there was just, again, I'm trying to find something that I just absolutely love.
Let me take it. Maybe you can weigh in.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the tag match, the women's tag team match. I thought Charlotte and Alexa, and I thought Roxanne and Raquel, I thought they all worked really well together.
Yeah.
I thought the story that they told in that match, especially at the end where you thought Charlotte was going to turn on Alexa, and then she made the move and saved her, Alexa getting the pin. I thought it was really, really cool. I still think we're obviously headed to a split and a match between those two, but capitalizing on the momentum of them being a tag team, I thought was really, really cool. I want to ask you, Andy, we talked about this on the preview show. You and I agreed on this. We were both wrong. And the huge question is now what for Jade Cargill? Like if she didn't win what?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I don't know. That's if you'd have told me Tiffy would have won, I'd have been like, okay, Bianca came out, got involved, something like that happened.
Something
to beat Jade clean, shocked me. Like that is the most shocking decision. Even like we saw the Seth Rollins cash in kind of coming, that completely shocked me.
Totally.
I'm not a huge fan of it. If I'm going to be real honest with you, her getting pinned clean like that.
Nope.
I'm not a huge fan of, I'm a big fan of Tiffy, and I think it's a big win for Tiffy, and I think that shows that they have really big plans for her. But I have no idea where Jade goes from here because she can't go after Naomi. Like she can't do anything like that. Bianca is nowhere to be found right now. So I have no idea what to expect for her.
Yeah, everybody that was in my house that watched the show tonight, like it was just like, huh?
Yeah, because I even said, I mean, at one point I said, did we ever truly like wrap up the storyline with Naomi and Bianca?
What I've been saying.
So you got a match and whatever it was at Mania,
and Evolution.
But yeah, like, you're asking me like try and find something that I like. I can't find anything that I'm like because I'm stuck on the Tiffy and Jade match because it upset me so much. It's just like it's there. It needed the clean pin is insane to me. Also the fact that Jade just didn't win. Like I really thought they'd give the title to Jade because then it's like, oh, all right, we spent all this money to bring her over from AEW and we put all this effort into making her into this big star. And, she checks a lot of boxes. Some, one of them's not the important ones, but she leaves off. But like, what are we doing?
If not now,
what are we doing?
If not now, when?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
That's kind of been my theme for the night is I said that after a lot of the matches, like, what are we doing? Why are we going this direction? Why are we following this? That was my theme last night after SmackDown too, was like, why are we changing things drastically the night before SummerSlam? Like, why are we flipping things for no reason, apparently? I don't want to keep dogging them because I think there was some decent stuff tonight and there was some good stuff. Obviously, the big quote in wrestling is how you finish the show is how people are going to remember the show, and people are going to remember the cash in and they're going to love the cash in. Just like people remember what happened at night 2 of WrestleMania this year and have dogged it all year long, even though you go back to night 1 and that triple threat and everything else was
one of the greatest triple threats of all time. Yep.
But we have got to talk about how Triple H doesn't really know how to finish a story. Like he doesn't know when to just put a period at the end. And what I mean by that is, how long have we been teasing this whole thing with Judgment Day? And how many times has it changed? You know, yes, I love CM Punk and I love Seth Rollins, and the idea of them feuding from the beginning has been at the top. But it's been going on for a really, 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 really long time where, you know, I kind of want to see both of them go off and do something different with other people and not with each other. You know, so the bloodline storyline is never, ever going to end. Right. And I think that's just kind of been the theme of the night for me too, is like, yes, he knows how to finish some small stuff, some small stories, but some of these bigger stories, man, they just feel like they're going to go on forever and ever with no end in sight.
One of the things that I noticed from the Unreal doc was I was very surprised that Triple H is one of those people that, like, when someone tells him, like, oh, I think this is a better idea, he's like, oh, yeah. He doesn't really. Now, there was the one moment where he did fight back, but what ended up happening? It played out. Could this be one of those cases where there's too many cooks in the kitchen? There's too many people battling in the creative room, in the writer's room, where we can't ever get a finish for any of these storylines because Bruce Pritchard thinks it should go one way and the other guy thinks it should go this way, and then
The Rock shows up and flips everything on its head.
And right, The Rock sends a text message, and then he has his guy who used to write for WWE say, well, I think this is the way that we need. And then again, like, he's not even a part of the company and he's getting final say or you know, gets more weight to his words. Right. So like, I feel like a lot of the reasons we're having these issues with finishing storylines, or like you said, Andy, the night before SummerSlam, we're just throwing things at the wall and hoping they stick tomorrow night. It's because they don't know what they're doing night of the show.
Yeah.
They're very much just walking in and being like, all right, so Twitter thinks we should do this. Or The Rock sent a text, or Bruce Pritchard said this in a meeting. Like, I just don't think that there's really anyone that's taking the leadership reins and running with it. I love Triple H. I think him taking over creative has a lot of the storylines. A lot of the storylines that he's come up with got me back into watching wrestling consistently. But the biggest problem is, I've noticed the past couple of PLEs that I've watched, I've been sitting here like, all right, that didn't move me emotionally like it used to when I used to watch in mid 2000s.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's very interesting. As Sam Roberts likes to say, let them cook. Well, I mean, obviously, we're going to do this podcast every week. We're going to tell you what we think every single week. And that might change every single week because decisions change every week and all that kind of stuff. So obviously, we're going to be right here for you. You guys have both brought up the changes in SmackDown on Friday night, last night. As we close up shop here on this live show, again, we'll be back live with you tomorrow night following SummerSlam Night 2. And then, of course, live Monday after Raw as well. But, Andy, as we look ahead to night number 2, it seems like we have the old John Cena back. And it's going to be babyface versus babyface, John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. I'm on the fence. I don't know. Obviously, there's 5 other championship matches. Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa. You have the TLC match for the tag team championship on the SmackDown side. You also have Becky Lynch, Lyra Valkyria, the women's triple threat, Naomi, Io, and Rhea, and then of course Dominic Mysterio and AJ Styles. As we look forward to tomorrow night, what's piqued your interest? What are you looking forward to most?
I think the number one thing I'm looking forward to most tomorrow is probably the women's triple threat. I think it has especially after everything we got tonight, I think it has a really good chance of stealing the whole weekend. I think it could be a very, very entertaining match. I think everything about it could be very entertaining and, push things forward from here. And I'm going to put this out here now, if all of what happened Friday was just so we can do the same exact finish from WrestleMania, then we've lost the plot. We have lost whatever this is, because that, to me, you're doing the swerve for the swerve. It feels very Vince Russo to do something like that, just to turn him face one week just to get that moment, and then nothing changes from there. Plus, you also just make your top babyface look like an absolute idiot 2 times in a row, which I'm not a huge fan of. So I have a lot of trepidation about tomorrow night's main event, but that triple threat should, I think it'll probably kick off the show, and it could very easily steal the show.
Yep, I think it kicks off the show as well. What are you looking forward to about tomorrow night?
Well, the easy answer again is Cena versus Cody, and I'll get into that in a second. The one I'm looking forward to the most, looking at the card here, is this 6-way tag team DLC. Someone's gonna die in a ladder match tomorrow. I better see someone jump off a ladder and spear someone into like 3 stacked tables. That's what I want. I want their bet. Like, I'm sorry, this might not be very nice. Someone better die for me. Like, I'm sorry, someone better sacrifice their life.
Violence.
I want violence. Okay, is that too much to ask for? But
not at all.
But the thing, and this is going to be a wild prediction. So stay with me here, okay?
I'm listening.
But I'm trying to put myself in the mind of The Rock's head writer.
Brian Gewirtz is his name.
There we go. Thank you. What if Cody actually did sell his soul, but it's not publicly known?
Of course, yeah.
What if the whole plan was Cena sells his soul, and now he's having what's the word, conflict with his conscience, and now he's turning back to the baby face, and then The Rock comes out and he's like, everyone thinks, oh, The Rock's coming out to set Cena straight, but instead Cody was the real heel all along. Now you think that Cody's not going to be a heel because they are just printing money with the merch and everything like that. You're probably right. But if Cody turns heel, and I hate so much that money drives these decisions, because I think creatively, if Cody turns heel, it's going to be way bigger than probably the biggest thing that they've had since honestly the Cody Roman finished the story match in terms of social.
It's going to be huge.
Right. So like, I think if you set that ending where Cody turns heel and then Cena's final run is he's going babyface and he fights Cody for the championship, and then his last match is he does get to take the title home with him as a babyface. I mean, absolute cinema. Meme.
I'm going to I'll say this about the Cody heel turn, and I'm going to do it with an inside joke, and you're going to know where I'm going to go with this. Cody did an interview with Kay Adams a couple of weeks ago.
I already know where it's going.
And Cody said that the heel turn's coming. Okay. He did an interview with Bill Simmons this week, and he said he's not turning heel. He said he loves the spot that he's in. He loves everything that he gets to do, and he doesn't see a need to turn heel. There's a thing that is very well known in the wrestling community, the Cody lies. Who knows what Cody is actually telling the truth. You know, he also said in that interview, because somebody asked him, I think it was Chris Van Vliet, asked him, where does Cody, the American Nightmare, stop and where does Cody Runnels begin? And he couldn't answer that question because he said maybe he's in too deep. Maybe he just doesn't know where it actually stops. So in giving these interviews, who knows exactly where it's headed? The bottom line is John Cena seemingly will probably get the old Cena entrance with the actual Tron, and it'll be cool and everybody be excited. I'm not convinced that he's a babyface. I do think, to Andy's original point, that we will continue to see a heel John Cena. I think there's a chance that we get the same ending that we got from the promo on SmackDown, that there's a handshake, there's a show of respect, and Cena's a babyface. Maybe Rock shows up and beats them both down, and it solidifies Cena as a babyface. And maybe Cody does sell out. I don't know. What I will say, Aaron, is I hope that we are as excited and giddy and talking with as much intrigue about tomorrow night's main event as we did tonight.
Love that ending. Got me real juiced for tomorrow. I did just look this up. Okay. So we all agree, right, that everything that gets said on air has a purpose, correct?
Everything counts.
Right. They don't just say things to say things.
Everything counts.
Okay. Cena, he ended the promo last night where he said, the only platinum rapper who's going to beat your ass is me.
Yeah.
Travis Scott's double platinum.
John Cena technically is a platinum rapper.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He did say double.
If
So
Cena beats Cody Rhodes, the statement's still true. But there is another double platinum rapper who could show up. It will make me very upset if he does. But Travis Scott technically did go double platinum.
I know we all don't want to see it. I know it's in the chat. Dr. Durst and City Kitty, thank you for flooding the chat. We don't want Travis Scott. Andy, we don't want Travis Scott. Aaron, we don't want Travis Scott. There's a real good chance, though, Andy, that The Rock and Travis Scott show up and we see some sort of button up, or at least some sort of continuation of what we should have seen at WrestleMania. I think it's a street fight for a reason, Andy.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm probably the only person in the world that says I don't want to see Travis Scott or The Rock. I think The Rock needs to stay as far away from this main event scene as possible. I think it is a street fight for a reason. I think they did it on purpose for something. Obviously, now it takes away the low blow title shot that Cody can do back to Cena to win the title and everything else. Now that's legal and everything. I honestly don't have high expectations for the match. Like, I think the match is going to be great. I don't see the finish going well with a lot of people, no matter what it is, unless they do something absolutely drastic where Cody just straight up like pile driver Cena after the match, and like we stretch Cena out, we do the whole, we finally get Homelander Cody style, heel. But I don't see them doing that. I don't know. Like, just them doing that Friday night to me screams, hey, we don't really know what we're doing with the Cena heel turn. It's not gone the way we thought it was going to go. So now we're just kind of trying to change things up a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what to expect. Like, I don't have a lot of good expectations about it tomorrow. And I hate that.
We'll just have to wait and see. We'll just wait and
see. We hate it, but it's still getting us to watch.
And we're talking about
yeah.
I'm talking about it. We're watching.
So it's unfortunately working.
Yep.
It's unfortunate.
It is. Oh yeah.
It is. It
definitely
definitely All right. And we hope that you guys who are tuned in with us live will tune back in tomorrow night as we break down everything from night number 2. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for dropping comments in the chat. If you're watching the replay, you can still drop those comments and we will respond to each one of those. If you're listening on podcast, make sure you're following on whatever platform that is, and make sure that you tell a friend, share the show. That's the only way this community is going to grow. This podcast is going to grow, is for those of you who are watching and listening, to help spread the word. We can only do so much. We can't reach the people that you can. So subscribe to the podcast, like the video. That helps the algorithm, that helps us out as well. Vacation Aaron in the flesh. Thank you for gracing us with your presence.
Absolutely. Thank you for the invite. Thank you for the nachos and the Mountain Dew as well.
I did.
If you ever get an invite, to a watch party, you need to come, because I mean that nacho bar was elite.
It was.
And again, there was a case of Mountain Dew. I think I may have drank more Mountain Dew tonight than you did.
How many did you drink?
I had 2.
I had 3.
There you go.
Gotcha. So beside the point. Andy, we missed you being here in person tonight, but of course you are here in spirit. And man, night 1 is in the books. We'll be back for night 2 tomorrow night, and we'll see what happens, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, listen, out of everything that can happen this weekend, we're still getting that insane TLC match. That'll do something for us. So we'll definitely have a lot of talking points to come out of tomorrow.
You know, that could open the show, actually. I know you said triple threat. I think that TLC match could open the
Kill
show.
someone right off the top of the show. Let's do it.
Yep, for sure.
Listen, shut the show off with a bang, with a tone.
That's it. All right. We appreciate you guys being with us. Thank you so much. Again, if you're new, make sure you subscribe on the way out. We would appreciate it so much. For Andy York, Vacation Aaron being right here in the flesh, my name's Chris Belcher. Thanks for being with us on another live edition of Squared Circle Radio. We will catch you guys down the road.